This is a Big Facts Network exclusive.
Live from the Culture Lab in the ATL. It's time for that Big Facts, Big Bank. What up, Baby J? What up, DJ Scream? I'm here. We are welcoming today the one and only Adam22 from No Jumper and Bricc Baby. They are here. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, fellas? What brings y'all to the beautiful city of Atlanta?
It started with Cam Newton is down to have you on his podcast.
Okay.
And then I figured I would hit you guys up, and then
I saw you at the concert though, so.
Yeah, that was just random, but we spent the whole day with Young Dro, and then we spent like a whole day with Woody, who's a hot topic out here. So we just kind of got a whole bunch of shit done in like 4 days.
Yeah.
Why are they laughing?
This is
a good guy.
So I think let's just jump straight to this. I think one of the reasons this happened, and we've been talking for some years about us coming to your joint, you coming to ours, is there was a quote that was said. You say the quote: "Atlanta media don't have much going on." What was the proper quote? Because everybody blew up my phone about it.
Damn, I can't even remember anymore. But it was something like that. It was like, yeah, Atlanta might be kind of number one in the conversation about the most popular rappers coming out in the last 10 years. But we haven't necessarily seen the Atlanta media space get as big as New York or LA. And I did specify that I felt like you guys were basically like the biggest podcast out here.
Nah, you're right. I don't think there's no diss or no shit though, because it really like man, you know the South always gonna be late to bloom on shit because it's, you know what I'm saying, when West started,
or not even necessarily late to bloom, but late to get the proper recognition.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like you look at this shit, niggas like Prince and P and Cash Money probably had to go through trying to be, you know, moguls from the South. It's like, come on, man.
Wait, I'm not even quoting it correctly, because the real quote was there was another personality, Ray Daniels, who said that a No Jumper or a Vlad TV could not have been created in Atlanta because everybody in Atlanta has guns. And I think that's really what sparked the conversation. Because obviously we got to be like, hey, we got guns too. Hey, acknowledge us. Everybody got shooters.
What Ray say?
He said a No Jumper or a Vlad could not have been created in Atlanta because everybody has guns and there's too much of a street culture going on, which
y'all wouldn't be able to be outside.
No, this is
nigga wouldn't be able to be outside like that.
Yeah, let me speak to what Ray was saying, because Ray is my man, and I may be this is my interpretation of what the gist of what he was saying is. Basically, it's like when it comes to Vlad and when it comes to like the No Jumpers, even like with the acts and, you know, like those types of shows, like they're similar platforms like us, but sometimes you guys are a lot more controversial and touch on a lot of things or have a lot more personal opinions when it comes to certain things. So when it comes to that, it's like Atlanta is a small place, no matter how big it seems. So for you to be able to move around comfortably, you're going to run into somebody that you had an opinion about. Or you're going to run into somebody that,
you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to do it.
Yeah, and it's going to go down. Like, it's going to go up.
What you think about emotional ass LA though? You know that we feel entitled to everything. So the amount of threats that come through over there, and you know they play ball in LA too. So like the gun thing is like, man, everybody knows
everybody shooting everywhere though.
That's what I said. Yeah. They play ball everywhere. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
I guess Ray, this is my first time hearing any of this shit, just being 100. But I guess what Jade saying and what Ray probably saying was, yeah, it can't be nowhere. These niggas, I don't know, it's everywhere like that though. I don't know why. So y'all must not be offending niggas then.
But this is the thing is, if you really want to be a media personality who blows up, whether it's academics or Charleston White or whoever, it's like, you really got to be willing to offend people. And I will agree, Atlanta has an amazing community, hip-hop wise. Right. We saw that at that Drewski thing. Everybody coming together. There's so much love and respect, and it feels like everybody knows each other and shit. And I'll be honest with you, it's a way better vibe than damn near anything hip-hop oriented that you're going to hit up in LA. Yeah. Like, it's just the people really, like, it just seems like there's a good vibe in the air.
Just a
it's going to cash you out, basically.
Yeah.
But if you want to be an academic or a Charleston White, you have to be willing to f the vibe up. You got to be willing to like really say some shit. You got to say, hey, Young Thug might be the coolest dude in the world and he might have the most power out here, but guess what? His new song, I don't like it. And here's why. Like, if you really want to stand out as a media personality, and what I just said is not what Charleston White would say. Charleston White would, say the worst fucking most offensive thing you could think of. And that's kind of like what gets him a consistent amount of attention constantly.
But do you feel like when you make that decision to the vibe up so that you can gain that notoriety, do you agree that it puts you in a box that limits your mobility?
Nah,
they're gonna
keep saying more and more.
No, what I'm saying is it puts you in a box that limits your mobility to the point where you can't just go to fucking Magic City on Monday.
Charleston outside.
Go to these,
but Charleston outside.
Big pepper spray.
Charleston is outside, but a lot of these other people are not.
No, I'm just saying, you gotta be a nigga like him. You gotta be a nigga like Charles.
You gotta stand on everything. I say all type of crazy shit. I'm gonna be outside too. You know what I'm saying? I don't be saying to the ones that I offend. You get what I'm saying? They definitely start first, and then you want to do this troll shit. I really just came out the streets. I know that I'm gonna go farther than you with this troll shit. Leave me alone. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like it's no difference between the kids that's loading up on Instagram saying the same crazy shit, but they holding up guns, they saying all type of stuff, and they still coming outside. I think that they know that the controversy is kind of boosting them off into a certain place at a certain point.
But that's a big part of why Bricc Baby is a great host on No Jumper and shit is that, and why he consistently will say shit or have takes that go viral is because he every week will say something that will make me just like, whoa, I can't believe he said that. Either because he's being so honest about how shit works in the streets, or he's saying something where it's clear that he's willing to offend people, whether it's people close to him or people who are like on the other side of shit. But I think that he's kind of taken that in and realized that if he wants to be something in the media space, he's going to have to be the guy who's willing to have a take that other people are scared to say. Like that. Like, I think with Charleston White or with academics, the reason why it works is because they say shit that people really agree with, even if it's abrasive. Now, if you're just a dickhead, that's the other side of it. You could just be a dickhead and like you might go viral and shit, but you're not gonna gain that like loving fan base if you're just an asshole on camera. Like, people have to be able to tell that you also mean the shit you're saying, you know?
Yeah.
Sure. Have you ever had a moment where you just, it might have been a day later, a week later, a month later, where you're like, damn, I might have went too far. Like,
oh yeah.
And you just, so how do you, because now it already came out, so it's already out there, it's in the universe. So at that point, how do you fix that? Have you ever had to apologize, make a personal conversation, shoot a DM, or you just standing on it?
Yeah, all of that. I don't want to stand on something if I don't really believe it, but I also, like, before I go on the podcast and talk about a topic, usually I give it some thought and think about like what my actual opinion is. And I feel like that's an important part of it, though. Like, if you're just constantly jumping out the window and saying shit you got to apologize for, then you might not really be cut out for this. You might need to work on your temperature.
Shitty, what you laughing at?
Because it's a lot of people that double back on what they say.
Yeah.
And it's like, it already
don't say a lot of shit.
No, yeah. But learning in media, you gonna say some stuff on live where you like, dang, you could have kept that in a private conversation, or on one of these podcasts where it's like you get so comfortable that you might say something and it might really be that, but you intensifying it by putting it out there in the world, coming from just a gangster's perspective. You get what I'm saying? And that's where I learned, like, oh yeah, some of these conversations, I just gotta go light on the topic. Like, he already know what's happening. You know what I mean? But when you take off, now they want to see what the outcome of the situation is. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and they'll sit there and troll both sides. Like, oh, you gonna slide? Oh, you said this about him. Yeah. Like, I just have my
fans
opinion
keep it
on
going.
it. It's really be a peon. I ain't really mean it like that. You know
the
what I mean?
fans keep that shit going, like stir it all the way up.
Yeah, for sure. But you gotta ignore it.
Yeah. Cause I think I'm gonna just give an example. Like, I had a situation. We were interviewing Candy, which is a dear friend of mine. I love her to death. I have the utmost respect for her. And she was talking about her in vitro fertilization process. So, I'm off the cuff. So I'm thinking like all kind of funny shit, jokes, whatever. So she said that she got her in vitro fertilization done and she had some eggs left over. So I said, what did you do with them? Did you fry them? Like, as a joke. But the people in the comments like,
that's funny.
it was people in the comments that really thought that like I was serious, like, oh my God, you're making a joke of women that can't have children and all that shit. And I would never do that. But it's like, sometimes it's people out there that don't understand or that want to make something bigger than what it is. And you have to just have the discernment to be able to know like what you mean and what you meant from the heart and just leave it at that and not feed into that shit.
And if it was just you and your homegirl sitting at brunch and you made that
joke,
it
would have been
and you know exactly like what her temperature is. You might not have made the same joke with your super religious friend who doesn't laugh at anything.
Exactly.
You probably wouldn't even have a friend like that. But like in general, like I see that all the time where Joe Budden had a clip that went viral where the girl on his podcast, Melissa Ford, she was talking about her period. And Joe goes, "You still get that?" Because she's a little older. Yeah. But I thought it was funny as fuck. People were really like, oh, that's age shaming. It's terrible. It's harassment. It's like, bro, if they're friends, like, I think that shit was funny as fuck. That's the exact kind of joke that I would love to. I was jealous. I didn't think of that. That's a good joke.
The world just too sensitive. We say that all the time on Big Fans. The world just too sensitive.
Yeah, too sensitive. Because it's like now you just like an abortionist. Like you just...
Like, oh my
F
God,
them kids.
like,
like those eggs are kids to
like,
the
how are
people
you a
that
woman
want to
and you're saying things like that? I'm like, bro, it's a joke. Like, what the hell?
But you got to be willing to have those conversations that offend random people. And you have to be able to tell the difference between like important people in your industry being angry at you for a joke you made versus like getting 100
But even
comments.
if it's the important people in the industry that are angry, if I'm being true to myself and this is really how I feel and really what I believe, and I know for a fact that I didn't mean any harm, I excuse you, important industry people, for offending you. But at the end of the day, like, I don't give a fuck.
What's the fine line though? What's the fine line though of the person that you don't want to sit with or that you're uncomfortable sitting with? Like, you know, as a media person, you gotta have a conversation with anybody. But this is the fine line of like, we have our morals in a space where we probably won't sit with certain people just from a moral standpoint. What's the fine line of that for y'all?
I mean, certain people, you know, if I feel like someone is being disingenuous, if they're hating on somebody, but their perspective is intended to smear somebody, you know, like there was just the other day, there was like a smaller podcast crew that I was checking out on Instagram, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I could probably do some good content if I did an interview with these guys. And I keep scrolling down and I see them shitting on some other podcasters who I f with. And it's not that they're shitting on them, but I feel like they're not really telling the whole story. They're taking news and gossip and they're kind of shaping a narrative that I don't feel like is honest. And so to me, I would feel like it was f up for me to have those people on if I felt like they were going to talk about somebody that I care about in such a way that it's totally fine. I have interviews with people who hate Vlad and fucking don't like Ag or don't like whoever. Yeah, that's fine. But it's like if your critique feels dishonest, then I feel like that's where I don't want to go with it. And also, I mean, if you really feel like somebody is really like spreading hate, and if you feel like they're gonna potentially like, if even like a couple hundred people watching your podcast are gonna watch somebody like say some real hateful shit and latch onto it and resonate with it, that can be kind of risky. Or even like, you know, when we would always have Crip Mac on the podcast, it's like at some point we kind of came to an agreement, like, you could talk about your ops, but like, please don't like name them. Please don't be using any like slang terms to disrespect them. That's like, there's just like a different line. If you start to feel like people are using your platform to like create real street situations, all of a sudden that starts to feel like a bad use of your platform as well.
Okay, so now that like you brought that up, I got a 2-part question that I want to ask you, because in the past, you've had like your own battle, or you've had your own situation where there have been like racist culture vulture allegations or whatever against you, and no jumper or whatever. So I want you to kind of speak to your side of those allegations, and then the second part is I want you to talk about some of the things that you've done, like community-wise and for the culture, that would kind of offset those allegations that were made against you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know the racist thing.
Where did that come from?
I feel like it mostly just comes from like, oh, you're white and you interview a bunch of rappers, and sometimes you have like, you know, challenging conversations with them. I feel like that label was kind of inevitable. But, you know, I feel like I just got to go out into the world and do the best content I can, have the best conversations I can, and just try to, you know, just make the best shit that I can. And that's like the only thing that's going to put space between people saying that. I feel like every day I go into work and just try to do the best shit I can to make the culture entertained and happy and try to dip and dive around that shit.
They try to say that he's the slave owner because he employs all black people that's in gangs and they knowing that drama coming with just all type of BS stuff. Like, I be just laughing because he actually is genuine though. But he got accolades in the hood too though.
But I feel like you probably hear more of it than I do because you're kind of like the stand-in for like anything I do that might be controversial. They're going to come to him and quiz him about it before I hear about it. I'm kind of in my own world sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
So Shitty is kind of like the fall guy.
Well, I don't want him to be.
I ain't the fall guy. It's just like I've been knowing him
not
before.
The fall guy, but he's closer to the bullshit. So they get to him first before they're able to even get to where you are because he's around.
But anytime one of the people, even though like anytime one of his people close to him fall, just for like might go back to the streets and make a mistake, he always there like the bell. You know what I mean? He play. You know what I'm saying? He'll go to the projects and all that, but you can't even expect somebody like that to keep on coming back. You got a platform where you got to understand, No Jumper on the blacklist from mainstream artists.
For real?
Not formally, but I mean, certainly you notice who you get and who you don't get.
We don't get no rollouts.
Which is good and bad because I hate the goddamn rollout. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like we have to go off personal relationships because we're not necessarily like, accepted by the industry as much.
So we really dealing with the underground and the up and coming and giving them a platform where they can speak their piece and people can know their personality and they can still do their thing.
You try to reach out? Y'all try to reach out to niggas?
Yeah, I mean, we reach out, me, Remo, Laura, my publicist, we all reach out to people all the time and just try to line shit up. But, you know, in lieu of being able to, get the biggest name artists on the podcast, we kind of have like realized that our real strength is like the underground and the street level dudes. Yeah. And that's really like kind of what we've chosen to focus on is just doing stuff before people pop off and just really documenting people who are like still kind of on.
That's when you're going to get the real conversation too, though.
And I feel like that endears you to people so much because they see you as, oh, if I get a little bit more motion, that's like a real opportunity. Whereas they might look at the Breakfast Club and be like, well, I got to be fucking gigantic to get on there. So I feel like that has kind of become our lane as time went by. It really kind of started with the SoundCloud rappers. And then we like, as we expanded, just moved into like really looking at every important city in the country and just being like, all right, let's like keep our ear to the ground in terms of finding the young talent coming out of there or the new talent.
Yeah, for sure.
What was the biggest No Jumper moment so far? Like this conversation that you sit down, you have, and you're like, this kind of surreal. Like I can't even believe I'm talking to whoever that may be.
Her shirt, Free Jeff. Definitely. I was in London and I'm just kicking it with Juice WRLD and he just walks me over to Thug's trailer and it's just like I see him talking and I see him saying something like, it's my boy Adam, you should fuck with him. And then like he doesn't immediately come over to me or anything, but then as he's going on stage, he walks right towards me on the way to the stage and he just goes, we're gonna do a little interview. but then he goes on stage and the whole time I'm thinking, does he mean like right now? Or is he talking like in the future? Yeah. So the whole time I'm watching him perform, I'm Googling and just trying to come up with questions on the spot. And then finally I just get like 25, 30 minutes. And at that time, he had not done an interview for like 5, 6 years or some shit. Yeah. He had totally given up on interviews. After that, he did a bunch more interviews. But that was definitely probably like the biggest artist in their prime that I ever had. And it was just so... I couldn't believe it was happening. It was just like, I cannot fucking, surreal. I haven't seen this guy do an interview in so long and he's just sitting down with me in London. Like it's nothing. That was the craziest shit. And it's like my favorite rapper. So it's
y'all filmed it with? Y'all filmed it. You had your stuff already ready?
Yeah. And I mean, even in like the 30 minutes that we had, he gave us like a bunch of quotes that went super viral. He told Lil Nas X that it shouldn't have came out as gay. And it was like, it was so obvious to me, like when he was saying it, that he was saying, I feel like maybe you shouldn't have said that because it's going to fuck your career up and the culture that we're in, et cetera, et cetera.
Your alliances.
But I'm sitting there thinking like, bro, when the media hears that, they're going to clip that shit and they are going to lose all context of what you were trying to actually say. Yeah. But he's not playing the media game. He's just literally saying whatever he thinks at any given time. Yeah. And that definitely just made that even more special. That one stands out. But I mean, obviously like the XXXTentacion interview back in the day is like the other one that was just seeing an artist go from like damn near nothing to like one of the biggest artists in the world in the course of like a couple years, and then he gets killed. And my interview is like the main thing that's out there for people to understand who he was. That really like sold me on this is super fucking purpose. Important. Yeah. Like I have to really go hard with this. This is way more than I knew I was signing up for.
Right.
So you gay for real or you be trolling?
Full disclosure. Never done anything sexual with a man. Dead homies. 100% heterosexual.
So why you post that shit? What you want to do? What? Like?
It was an April Fool's prank.
Man, he right.
What day it was on?
April Fool's. I wish I did it on a random day. That would have been way better.
People believe you, what they think.
For sure. Like the craziest moment was Quando Rondo accepting or telling me that he respected me for living my truth and coming out and being the real me. And you could imagine he's really from the hood. That's probably not the easiest thing for him to say. And I had to tell him like, bro, I was just fucking around. That was a joke. And he's like, oh. And he looked bummed. Like
that shit was everywhere.
Yeah, that was.
My daughter texted me like, what's up with Uncle Adam? What's up with your man?
And you left it on your page too. It's crazy.
No, I'm saying how is
you left it on the page.
Wait, she's 16?
Yeah, I think it's still up, yeah.
Man, your ass crazy. That's total freedom, bro.
Yeah.
To play like that's total freedom. You don't give a damn.
What? Crazy,
I could make it worse. I could dress up like a woman.
Damn.
Don't do it, bro.
If I do a real trans day.
How did the sexual and pornographic vibes get implemented into the brand? Like when did it? I don't know when it started. It seemed like it just happened.
Honestly, it like started to happen. Like when I met my wife, like we just kind of. We're just hella open-minded. And like, I remember within like a couple of days of us hanging out, we were just fucking and we just FaceTimed some girl we know. And the girl just watched us bang for like a half hour.
Sober? Y'all sober?
No. At that time, I was not sober that often. But and then it just kept going from there. And like, at some point we started Plug Talk, onlyplugtalk.com, which is our adult podcast. It's the Plug Talk is the best, the only podcast where the host smash the guest. That's our new theme song that he sang.
Yeah, I did the jingle.
Because after y'all interviewed the people, y'all fucked him, right?
Exactly. We got him to do the jingle. It's just rolling out now.
Y'all got him to do the show?
The jingle.
Oh, okay.
The song. Like
the song,
intro.
you know, like the old commercials that got
Okay.
Nah, I ain't going that way. I ain't going.
Okay.
I mean, I might jump off the porch one day. Hey,
he talks about it a lot. He's very curious about the idea.
We be at them OnlyFans parties, man. You see something walk by like, man, shit, I might do go on camera real quick. Shit.
There's been a few times where we've been at like porn parties and he'll just kind of like look at me glazed eyes and be like, you don't even know how much better it is going to these kind of parties than the types of parties I grew up going to. And I'm like,
what be going on in the porn party?
Yeah, I feel you. Honestly, it's not as much like public sex as you would think, but it's got a lot of hot girls who are flirtatious, to say the least. So if you're dabbling, it's probably a good time.
If you got a good test result, within how many days is it?
You ain't been tested
no,
in years.
I'm saying, no, I'm asking, what is it? Because
2 weeks, yeah.
Like usually. 2 weeks. No, because remember we were in there and my boy, he's like, yeah, you trying to shoot real quick? And she's like, I haven't been tested. Like we could, and I'm like,
I'll take the risk.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, going back to the Plug Talk and the whole like OnlyFans and like porn thing. How did you, as a man, get into the space where you were comfortable enough to be able to watch other men fuck your wife?
Honestly, I'm just kind of a freaky guy, and it's like the stuff we were doing. Like I didn't even think I was gonna do like real porn scenes.
Was it a gradual process or like?
Yeah, and we had kind of talked about it, and it's like we thought it would be fun, just like on a purely sexual level. We had talked about like swapping with another couple and stuff, and we were like, well, if we're gonna do that, we got to do it on camera. And then it's like, well, if she's going to do her debut with another guy, we got to really hype that up and make it its own.
So you were kind of like in producer directorial mode?
I'm always on viral mode. So, you know, I'm always thinking about what's going to move the needle. And it's like, at first, like people always try to point out like another podcast that I did like a couple years before where I said that I wouldn't do it. And the truth is that the porn shit just kind of like slowly, when you get into it.
It took over you.
Well, yeah. The demon enters into your body and the horns start growing up. And all of a sudden one day you're just straight porn demon. I don't know. But it's like, even my girl, when my girl got on OnlyFans when we first started dating, I'm like, what are you going to do on there? She's like, I'll probably just like finger myself and stuff. And then like, you know, 3 days in, she's like, can I give you head for OnlyFans? And, you know,
yeah.
So all of a sudden you're doing shit you thought you weren't going to do. And I don't know. I mean, like fucking my girl with another dude is like, I don't dread it. People think it's like a bad day at work. That's a pretty good day at work for me. That's fun.
Okay.
Like a smut her out. She deserves it.
You'll do something, bro.
He borderline.
You'll do something, bro.
He'll do it.
Yeah, you'll do that other shit, bro.
I mean,
you gonna eventually do that.
What, the gay thing?
Yeah. Oh, hell, yes, you will, bro. You will, bro. You too comfortable, bro. In the room with another nigga with your dick out. We did that when we were kids.
Yeah, we're still doing it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, if you liked it when you were a kid, you still like it. You gotta be honest with yourself.
No, you don't. You can't even get aroused with no nigga around. Because back then you're ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Because when you standing, if I'm on top of a bitch and you standing back, what are you looking at?
Yeah. It's either ass cheeks or dick, nigga.
It's like watching a porno while you're making a porno.
Huh?
Listen.
You say what?
So you can't like, you could watch a porno, right?
Yeah.
It's like I'm watching a porno while I'm making a porno.
But you in there with that meat.
That shit was cool.
I don't gotta grab it or nothing.
Oh, know about that.
Yeah, man.
Hey, you flirting with it too, bro.
You
flirting with it, bro.
I got a viral.
You said you'll never do the other shit.
Yeah, but nobody wants to see me do some gay shit.
If they did,
ain't gotta see
if they wanted me to, I still wouldn't do it. But I'm just saying, I'm not even incentivized to do it because nobody wants to see that. Like literally, nobody shows up in the Plug Talk DMs requesting that.
And then
so you kiss like so your wife like or whenever you're in a porn scene with your wife or a woman and a dude, do they y'all be kissing?
I don't do. I kiss the girls, but she doesn't kiss the dudes.
Oh, but she's sucking the dude dick.
Yeah.
And you kiss her?
No. Wash your mouth out, brush your teeth, then we can get back to being a normal couple after the porn scene. But for sure, I'm not. But you realize how freaky you are versus other dudes because in the orgy type environment or whatever, like you be fucking the girl and then you pull out and the other guy, you think he's about to fuck her. No, he's eating her out.
You did it?
That's gay.
I've seen it in front of my eyes and I realized like, oh, okay, I'm not as freaky as y'all.
Okay.
Look.
You might want.
So look.
He's like, I gotta explain myself.
No. Hold on. I don't gotta explain myself. I know I'm coming. Look. So do you feel that it's cool for a man to let a female eat his ass? Cause he love that shit.
Huh?
Yeah, that's cool. I'm into that.
He love that shit.
He do that. Eat his ass?
It's such a bonus when they decide to do that.
I don't know.
Because I never expect it. And then they do it and I'm like, oh my God, you are filthy. Like, what the fuck? I can't believe it.
White people just different than black people though. I don't think I can stomach seeing a nigga fuck my wife.
The most recent ass eating that I received was from a beautiful black woman. Yeah. And I did not see it coming. She grabbed my leg, hoisted it up. Yo. She went to town.
Yo.
Oh my God. Yo.
Turn the air on.
No, bro. No,
turn that shit off.
Like,
I couldn't believe it.
His honesty. I fuck with his honesty. Like, I fuck with his honesty.
Bring her up. Bring her on the screen so that we can get a judgment call.
You got a picture?
Yeah, I felt like the luckiest man on earth. My girl was riding my dick, and all of a sudden this girl starts doing this. And I'm just like, holy fuck.
What the fuck?
Oh, man.
Look at that.
So,
No.
yeah, I don't. Nah, don't put it on the camera, please.
She could work in Magic City, right?
What that is though?
Let me see.
The woman.
He trying to make sure his
Hold on, which one of these?
It's
Which one of these houses?
Mine's the light skinned one, yeah.
No. This is the one that ate the ass?
Yeah.
She's interesting looking.
Okay, so
interesting. All right.
But guess what though? She ain't never ever did it to no black man. She ain't never had sex with a black man in her life. That black girl.
Oh.
And I was very troubled by that.
That's crazy.
That.
So you ever got like in the porn scene, got grossed out and just had to leave?
Nah. I'm along for the ride. I'm a trooper. We got to get the job done.
You a master troller, bro.
I'm being 100% honest.
Oh my goodness.
Like, people don't realize once you start doing the porno, it starts to feel less like, fuck yeah, we're all having sex, and more like, all right, let's get this shit done. We're all going to work together. We're going to get this thing done. Because, nobody wants to leave at 8 p.m. You want to get out of there at 5 p.m. or whatever. So it's like, we need 40 minutes of content. Well, let's get to work.
What are you talking about?
I'm being real, man. Anyone who does porn can tell you.
It's a job.
We got to work on this project together. Let's get to town. Let's get to doing it.
Let's get to town.
It's a job. Let's get it. Let's get her
It's
done.
a good job, though.
So before the porn, you were a very heavy, avid BMX rider.
Yep.
How did you get into that?
When I was 12, that was just like the cool shit to do around town. All the kids were riding bikes. And I just started.
What's the difference between BMX and regular bike riding for like the people that don't know?
Freestyle BMX is like, the kids in the neighborhood were just like bunny hopping over little trash cans and doing wheelies down the street and stuff. And that was just how everybody in my neighborhood was getting around when they were like 12 years old. And then I just got like way deeper than everybody else into the magazines and the videos and filming. And, everybody else got cars by the time I was graduating high school. And I was just still so into it. And I ended up moving to New York City because that was like where the best BMX scene in the world was at the time. And I just spent years and years just riding around every day with all these dudes out there, just going to skate parks and riding in different neighborhoods all over New York.
Right.
And after, I was only in New York for like a year or two, and I started a website about BMX bikes, and it just blew up. And that was like the next 10 years of my life, just writing about bikes and doing interviews with people and stuff like that. And then at some point I realized that YouTube and Facebook and Twitter were going to be huge. So I really started to invest time into that. And then I started interviewing, like doing a formal podcast. And like, as soon as I started doing the podcast, I was also going to all these underground rap shows around LA and shit, like basically like the SoundCloud rap wave. And I just started interviewing a bunch of rappers that I was around, and all of a sudden those were getting just way more views than what I was doing in the BMX shit. And like, I have been like a lifelong obsessed hip hop fan, but at that point it was like, oh shit, this is how I can actually have involvement in it. Because I would always just listen to it and was just watching videos, and that was just a normal night with me and my BMX friends. We'd just sit on the couch and watch rap videos for hours and hours and hours, smoking weed. And I was a big fan of his music right before I got into the No Jumper thing.
No Jumper actually came out of a verse of one of Gucci Mane's songs.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
Ball, 95
Bricks.
Air Max because I'm a dope runner. Balling like an athlete, but got no jumper.
It's bricks. Yeah.
Which I thought was a great metaphor for what I was doing, because I kind of knew that I couldn't get the A-listers. But I'm like, I'm going to interview underground rappers, managers, people who work at labels, DJs, whoever, like anyone I can get in with to try to like just get as many cool interviews as possible. So when Gucci says I'm balling like an athlete but got no jumper, he's saying, I made my money doing other things.
But I'm still here
but
on
I
the
still
court.
got it.
I'm still here on the court,
Which I found pretty inspirational at that time,
How long you been doing it now?
Damn near 10 years, but really 9. But I was doing the BMX stuff, interviews for like a year before that. So feels like 10, but I'll celebrate 10 when we actually get there.
Oh, so you was doing BMX and that shit didn't work out like that?
It was working out, and we were basically like the biggest thing in our field, but it also was like, I just saw there being like so much more opportunity. Like hip hop is just like 1,000 times bigger than the BMX shit. So I still will interview BMX riders from time to time. I'll still go pop out at an event or a BMX street ride type thing, but I had just been doing it for like 20 years at that point, and I was just like ready to do something else that felt like more of a challenge. And with No Jumper, I felt like, oh, this is insane, because I don't even just have to interview rappers. I can interview people with clothing lines and YouTubers and comedians and porn stars, all these different things I was interested in. So it just felt like incredibly limitless in comparison to the BMX shit, where I was really starting to feel like I have done everything I could possibly do already,
When you be hearing about all these podcast deals and sports deals and the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and hundreds of millions and all that, what's the path to that? What you think? Like, how we all get to this?
You tell me, man. I have no fucking
We trying to ask you because everybody's trying to
When
figure
I hear
it
Gilly and
out.
Wallow talking about $100 million podcast offers and shit, I'm like, okay. Sounds amazing, but I don't personally understand. So, I don't know.
The recouping process has to be crazy.
They do have a lot of ads, but
yeah.
Can you guys talk to him about his Atlanta history? Because I feel like the world needs to know.
Oh, Atlanta.
You guys all know.
I know. I guess that is unfair because I know. I personally
don't.
Yeah. Hence what she called me. That's original. Right?
Shitty Montana.
The whole world called me Bricc Baby. Nah, that's original.
But then it go from shitty Montana. But didn't it go from that to MPA Shitro to Bricc Baby?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
No, it was MPA Shitro Sanchez.
Yeah.
Crew hopper.
Correct. Okay.
And then after that,
I missed some shit. Yeah.
So what happened? I ain't no crew hopper. I'm still MPA to this day.
Now he's no jumper brick. We got him now.
Look,
we got him now.
Slave master.
No.
He just said. He just said.
just started.
Nah, but go ahead.
No. We was nice enough to name because everybody know me as Shitty in the streets. But then we rapping now because we was doing the Shitty Montana Shitro Sanchez. Then it was MPA Shitro. So we thought that was nice enough for the radio. And then they like, well, everybody in the industry already knows your name is Shitty. So they saying Shitro is like a cuss word. So I'm like, all right, go Bricc Baby. You know what I'm saying? My mama, my first mixtape was Son of a Brick Lady, hosted by Scream and King. And I put a West Coast DJ on there, Adrian Swish, but it was hosted by them. So I was like, Son of a Brick Lady. I'm Bricc Baby. I grew up, all my parents, so that's all I seen growing up. You get what I'm saying? So,
but I was at the point, 2014 or whatever, where I would download like off the hip hop blogs that I would check. I would download any song that had a Thug feature. And so he had a couple Thug features at the time, so I'm listening to him. And then one day I'm at this like warehouse party talking to some fucking random white girl who was selling us Xanax or something, and she starts talking about how there's this guy, Bricc Baby, and how he had all these, well, I won't even specify what. He had some redacted. He had her whole kitchen filled up with just boxes and boxes and boxes of God knows what. And I'm like, him? I'm like, Bricc Baby Shitro, the guy that I've been listening to those songs from, he's trapping out your fucking living room. I didn't even meet him for years after that because he ended up catching a case.
Yeah, right. When we was locking it in, we were supposed to film our first interview the Monday, and I got locked up on Saturday. And I ain't had no bail. I was in the county for 4 years, so 3.5. We came home and got right back to it though.
Yeah.
How you end up getting from out west to Atlanta? Like, how did that happen? Like, how did you get out here? Because
what happened? I used to hoop.
Okay.
So, but I got deemed ineligible my 12th grade year because I came back from boarding school, a basketball prep school in 11th grade in Mississippi. We was playing against Monty Ellis and all them. I come back. They started a new little rule about transfers from out of state because the coaches were scouting and all that stuff. Because I had got sent off. I had caught a case. And then, like, they was like, you go to juvenile hall, you can move them out of town. You know what I'm saying? You know how they be reasoning with your parents. So I end up going to a boarding school out there. I come back. Clark, like, the only place where they was trying to give me action at playing because I don't got no 12th grade stats. You get what I'm saying? So I end up coming out here. Then Twin is my cousin from BMF, Baby Blue and all them.
Yeah, shout out to the family.
Yeah, shout out to fam. So when I came here, it was 05 and it was like right at the end of the BMF, but it was still going on. And that's how I got introduced to Atlanta. I was at Clark. Then I ended up getting kicked out of school for I had like 70 packs on campus.
So how did you meet Pee Wee?
Well, that's like my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big C, you know, they like, you know what I'm saying? So he was.
I know, but these niggas don't know. Like,
okay. So one of Pee Wee's older brothers is my sister's boyfriend. So when Pee Wee came home from prison, we the same age, we on the same mission. I'm already kicked out of school doing my thing. Me and Pee Wee go get an apartment together. It just been that ever since.
A long way.
Yeah, long way. Yeah. That was in like, he came home like 07. Right when J Money had the first name, last name out. And that was my real introduction to Atlanta, Zone 3. Well, no, Alley Boy was my first. Let me take that back.
Yeah.
I met Alley first.
Yeah.
And I was over there with y'all.
Yeah.
All the way, you know,
East side.
everybody, East Side. Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. I was with Alley. Trouble had just came home with 07 and all that. Yeah, and all that was going on. So I was from the trenches.
Soldier oats
I was from the trenches, and then I got with some people from the trenches out here and felt comfortable. You know, stayed.
Yeah, migrated.
Yeah,
you go to that when you migrate.
Because they not doing like the older people out here. They care about the young dudes. They gonna make sure they know one thing: whatever you do, get you some money.
Right.
Out there, it's not the same instruction. So I found like brotherhood.
What you mean by that? It's not the same instruction.
Like we grew up like our big homies was putting us on to robbing banks, and we was robbing check cashing spots.
Like licks and shit.
Yeah, it was
not
licks.
not like where you're able to be
They don't
self-fulfilling.
have a spot. Yeah, like it's not a spot they can put you in. They're not gonna give you no bomb and try you out and do all that type of stuff because they not doing it like the Mexicans run the drug cartel. The drugs where I'm from. Like if you know some Mexicans, then you don't have to do all that. So it's not a trap area. It's either you robbing, scamming, or you just murdering shit. Like you get what I'm saying? And it's like out here. It's still some gangster shit going on, but they gonna teach you.
The
like,
money
man,
is the
get
motive.
You a spot. Yeah, everybody know. I pulled up out here. I was 19. I pulled up on a 16-year-old. He up in 50, 60,000 on me. You talk about he ain't been to school in 2 years. Not like that. Not like it's something to glorify, but it's like, dang.
It's the truth.
When we dropped out of school, we was going inside banks and you know what I'm saying, all type of stuff like that. So it's just different.
You guys might it might be kind of invisible to you because you've been around it for so long, but there's definitely like a hustler spirit in Atlanta that I think is like the influence of just like how many great entrepreneurs and how many huge artists have like came out of Atlanta, that like there's a real belief in the dream of being able to find an artist or create something out of thin air. And sometimes in LA, like on more of a street level, it feels like there's less belief in that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, y'all unity. I've been here for a long time. Like I done seen two crews beefing, but when it was time to do them features and tours and all that, and that money came into play, they all straightened whatever it was and left it to the street level and kept their business. The street level trickles over into the business out there to where you can't even operate like.
You can't function.
It do sometime now and too though. Y'all just ain't gonna see it.
Yeah,
I know, but as far as the overall, they don't be against it.
Well, no, for sure.
Yeah, like if it's up, like you know they ain't doing no song together. But like I'm just talking about like a run off here, there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, that's on y'all, man. We finna go.
Yeah, for sure.
This business.
Yeah.
How did the interview with Pop Smoke's alleged killer come about?
So we know a bunch of people who are real close to him that we thought they were actual blood brothers, but it turned out that they were just like real close friends. And they got in touch with us when he got out. And there was talk of a few different people doing the interview, but ultimately I just decided that I felt like I could do a really good job of the interview, and it was a story that I thought was important for people to hear. And I feel like, you know, sometimes like it's so frequent and so common that we interview people that we admire and that have mostly contributed good to the world. And I just thought, like, you know what, this is an important story for us to get the lowdown on. And to me, like, the fact that this is a person who did something like extremely evil, I just still felt like this is an important part of hip hop history for us to document. And the truth is that, like, coming from the neighborhood that he's from, it's like this is part of just LA street shit too. Like everybody I know was dying to see that interview. So ultimately, like when I say that, like we don't necessarily get the super A-lister interviews. It's like we gravitate more towards the street level shit. I felt like it was almost like my duty to do that shit for our audience because so many people were hitting me up about it and were curious about who this kid was and shit like that. So ultimately, I didn't have any kind of moral qualms about platforming him. I thought it was important.
Was any part of it uncomfortable?
Yeah, just like
during it.
The fact that he felt so, like he had such a hard time expressing any kind of remorse, and you really got like a window into like a young ass kid who just spent like 4 or 5 of his developmental years locked up. And
damn, it's been that long?
Yeah, I think he got killed in 2020. And you know, just like he's been trained and molded to like not be able to express remorse, even in a situation like that. And I was almost having to like put the words in his mouth. Like I said, I use this as an example. I said, if I drive home from here today and I accidentally hit somebody with my car and they die, I'm going to feel horrible beyond belief. Even if I know in my heart of hearts that I was looking at the road, they just walked right out into the street, I did not intend to do this, I'm still going to feel horrible. And when I was saying that, he was like, horrible. He's like, that's how I felt. And I was like, damn, that's so crazy that like his upbringing and his street code that he goes by or whatever, and the way that they think of their ops or their beef situations or whatever, like it was like he was unable to express remorse without me kind of like prompting him. And that was like so sad for me to see.
I ain't see it, but niggas be trying to basically stick to shit, bro. He made me. He shouldn't. What did he say? Why he say they shot?
Too much movement.
Yeah, they pulled up on him and he was trying to fight back, basically.
Oh, for real. So dude who you interviewed, he was the shooter?
It's unclear, but it kind of seems to me like the person who shot him is probably still locked up, and he was the youngest one, so he ended up taking a certain amount of the charges or something like that. That's kind of what he was hinting at off camera. So I feel like he might not have been the one who actually pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
Well, because in California, are they doing that here with the youth? They charge it. How they went back and not charge. They still charging
getting the whole thing. But if you know you did something, you did.
So in LA, it ain't no more none of that. If you under the age of 17 or 17 when you commit that crime, there's no way you could be charged as an adult. The max time you could get is juvenile life, and it used to be to 25, but now it's either 23 or 21. So it don't matter how old you was. If you was 15, you would have did till you was 23. But if you 17, you still doing the same thing. You get what I'm saying? So this is the first time that we were able to ever see somebody really kill a rapper, get out of jail, and speak about it.
Like there's a rapper from up north, Sacramento.
Oh, they just started that shit?
Yeah, this
pretty recent.
It just started like 2 years ago.
But this dude X-rated from up Northern California, he basically got into a shootout, went to go kill somebody, I believe, with a couple of his friends, and ended up killing the dude's grandma by accident. And he went down for like 25 years and got out. And like, you know, I did an interview with him. I just interviewed him again, but I interviewed him like 3-4 years ago. And he explained that during the interview that like they used his lyrics against him that they can't do legally now. They charged him as an adult, even though he was underage, which they can't do now. So, you know, like I think about somebody like X-rated. I'm doing an interview with him. He killed somebody, or was at least involved in killing somebody, but we had to wait 25 years to hear his story. And that was the shocking part, I think, about the Blockstar kid who was responsible for the Pop Smoke thing, because you get to hear his story like 4 years later when he's still very young. And I mean, I guess like the biggest difference between them is Pop Smoke killed the beloved hip hop icon, and Blockstar X-rated killed, you know, an older woman that we don't know or was involved with killing her. And I don't know, I just felt like it was important for me to be like ideologically consistent. Like I've seen, you know, Vlad got so much shit for interviewing No Plug back in the day. I felt like he did the right thing. You let him tell his story in a situation that people really didn't understand at that time.
Yeah.
I feel like people interviewing Young and Ace and all these rappers that killed a civilian, the person that ain't nobody, they don't get no backlash about it. Like if it was the other way around and Pop and them caught somebody like it, and he would have been nigga, he would have took off in hip hop. He would have been, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying this.
Hold on. You saying what? You saying?
I say had it been vice versa, and it wasn't a move, right? And he just ended up killing the little dude that killed him just on some random, just a different situation. You know what I'm saying? He would have been looked at as like, oh, he a poppin' drill. He really with the shit.
You saying, so basically what you saying.
When the rapper kill, we don't give him no shit. But when it go be vice versa, it's like he the worst man in the world. Mm-hmm. Like somebody's life is valuable.
Saying like if a 17-year-old rapper was in LA, killed a nigga, got out, did the 4 years, he blowing up.
Yeah.
He take care.
And honestly, the Blockstar Kid, if he puts out music and if it's halfway good, you're probably going to see that.
But see, you got to look at it like the civilian nigga isn't popular. That's the whole like difference to the shit. Like this rap nigga is popular, so it's like you took one of our heroes, but if it's a regular nigga, like he might be a hero to somebody, but he's not a hero to most, like the rap nigga is.
So does it?
That don't make it good though.
No, I'm not saying that it makes it good, but I'm saying that's what
Yeah.
shoots him out of here and makes him hated. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference.
Yeah, that's why it's like you can't really be biased down to a point of like, oh, he killed him, so don't platform him. But if it go this way, you can platform it. You know what I mean? Like you just gotta let that rock.
And right before I interviewed him, I interviewed Terrence Gangster Williams, who allegedly has like 40 plus bodies. Who'd he kill? A bunch of gang members in New Orleans back in the day that we don't know. And it's like, is this fair that one person is forbidden from doing interviews because he killed somebody beloved, while I can have a conversation with somebody who killed 40 people because it's convenient to me that I don't know who they were? I mean, I just felt like it was more important to be consistent.
Yeah. But that's in a perfect world.
Yeah.
Do you let like in your interviews, will you always let it all the way ride, or do y'all do edits sometimes? Is there times where you say, man, we got to take this out?
Yeah, we definitely take stuff out if it's shit that, you know, if somebody asks me like, hey, I said this, I feel like it might incriminate me or whatever, for sure, we're happy to oblige. I mean, when it can get kind of annoying is when people will say that like, oh yeah, I broke up with my girl. And then they get back with their girl, and they want me to edit the whole fucking interview to make it seem like they never broke up with their girl.
About the girl, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this feels like you're crossing some kind of line that I don't want to fucking be involved with. Or maybe you should have just not done the interview if you were that unclear on what's going on in your life. But yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. You know, I learned that from Vlad when he told me that before he interviewed the baby, he called the police station and made sure it was a closed case. The Walmart situation. He wanted to make sure that he wasn't doing an interview with somebody who might have to deal with legal consequences.
So when you hear that, and we're just keeping it real in the culture, when people say like Vlad and Adam or the police, and there's we're like, what goes through your mind? Now you're kind of setting it straight for the people. You dig what I'm saying? But some people have attacked and said, oh, they don't really know the whole story, so this information might have led to this or whatever the case is. Like in your mind, you just blow it off.
I mean, I don't begrudge anybody their opinion, but at the same time, like up until very recently, I had never had my content mentioned in an investigation or whatever. But there was actually like a scammer who I interviewed who ended up having my interview quoted in all his paperwork and shit. No, I wish it was TJ, TJX6. Oh man, nah, it was just like a random dude. But that was the first time that happened to me. I feel like Vlad had his first one too that happened recently, where there was a quote from one of his lyrics that got used, or no, it was some Keefy D shit, I think.
Oh yeah,
they got used.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
But I mean, I don't begrudge anybody their opinion. You know, like usually if somebody has the opinion that I'm like a fed or that I'm trying to get people locked up, it's probably somebody who's like seen a couple clips, doesn't really watch my shit. So it's like, you know, everybody's allowed to have their opinion. I feel like I just got to do the best content that I can to try to change their opinion if that might be the outcome, you know. But I don't really trip about it too much, to be real.
And encourage the youth to stop talking about open cases. Like when that's not cool. Like if you got a situation, it doesn't matter what anybody asks you. You got the right to skip to the next question, and it won't be no smoke, no nothing.
Who you? What artist you think you had on there just was just lying? Like he lying.
Ah, man. I don't know. There's been a few people.
It ain't got to be no artist. It's anybody. You think, man, that nigga lying.
I mean, there's been a few people that came on and were talking like they were super gangster, and then we found out they were telling. So that's always a little shocking.
Who?
Oh man, I feel bad calling him out, but there was this dude G-Face from LA who and I only bring him up because he basically like was bringing shit around us that was like way extra.
Yeah.
Like trying to get us to do drugs with him and shit.
Yeah.
That now when I think about it, I'm like, holy fuck. Like,
bro,
that's crazy.
He called me one day. He hitting heroin off a stick with a torch. I'm like, man, what the fuck is you calling me doing this for? He invited me to his house. He got all type of shit out. I'm like, bro, you know I'm a content creator. I'm like, I've never, bro. You know we from the hood. Certain stuff not supposed to be out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like it's not weed
in plain view.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like this. Then you got big bazookas and shit. Then you like, bro, you live a life like you have no cares in the world. And I kind of was like catching on to what he was doing, and it was like, oh, I blocked him, and then like. 8 months later, it came out like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's crazy.
How'd it come out?
He called a fraud case.
Yeah, because he had like a trucking business. And I actually knew a bunch of people that were like, I'm thinking about getting into the trucking business with him. And I remember just being like, no.
Oh, so
he told me not to. I had a deal for him.
Yeah.
He told me like, hell no.
And turned it to a gangster. Get money off the fraud, got a trucking business, and turned it to a gangster.
He was a gangster before that, I guess, but.
He been telling us since like,
yeah.
7. He been working for him the whole time. So in his pay, this would happen. He catch a fraud case, and they go into a bail hearing, and he's saying that he can't sit in jail because he green lighted by the Mexican mafia because he been telling them, been an informant, and they know, and you know what I'm saying, and everything starts trickling out.
So he's like a seasoned rat.
Yeah.
Oh, he was telling no Mexicans, and he wasn't telling he was telling no niggas.
Loose Cannon be lying like a motherfucker too, though.
I don't know.
I don't know.
He told on some Mexicans. I mean, he told on some niggas too, though.
Yeah, because the G-Face dude is Armenian, which he basically is in like a Mexican gang in LA. So that's kind of their whole.
That's the same
thing.
shit the Kardashians are, isn't it?
They're Armenian, yeah.
They say,
He's definitely a different type of Armenian. Though.
Yeah.
You know, in Mexico, if you tell on a nigga, you ain't really tell him. You just can't tell on another Mexican.
So I just recently got it.
Yeah, that's how they look at it.
I just recently got into it with the Southsiders, the media Southsiders, because I said that on our podcast, and they recently just tried to deflect the shit out of it. But the facts are, we've been to prisons, and we've seen it happen. So I don't know if it's stopped now, but you know what I mean? We do know that.
Yeah.
But they say it's not. They say that it's not a technique of war, and we lying if somebody tell that they not accepted in their culture. Period.
You believe that?
Huh?
You believe that?
Hey man, I plead the fifth. I done been to jail. I done read paperwork, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
But he's saying, do you believe that you would operate under those rules? Or do you
I believe that they don't
Yeah.
operate them, and I gave them the smoothest no I could give them. Without trying to start a race war with the gangs back at home. They're gonna be like, oh man, Bricc Baby speaking on the south side of it. They ain't just telling facts. That's why they, we on big facts.
Hey, who else done came on that motherfucker line? Somebody we might know.
And this nigga fried.
He getting somewhere. Now I got to think.
That sounds like a good YouTube video though. Like
Yeah,
10 no jumper interviews who snitched or who lied. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say.
I know it's right there on the tip, Adam. Come on.
I don't know. I mean, shit. It's usually not that cut and dry. G-Face was like the most cut and dry one I could think of.
All right, what about somebody you seen on the podcast? You're like, oh, this nigga full of shit. He lying.
Shit.
Not even just on your shit.
Man, Loose Cannon.
We don't know that
Oh,
nigga,
y'all
man.
don't? Oh no, that's the dude that
We
said
don't
that.
know
No,
that
that was the
nigga.
dude for the Nipsey that said that Nipsey that called him 30 minutes before and said, "Big you."
We still
was
don't know
that-
that
Oh, I
nigga.
thought that y'all seen. See,
What'd he
stuff
say?
that be. Oh,
See,
the
we're
West
wrapped
Coast
up in our
viral
own
is-
world,
yeah.
Yeah,
We
my
don't know
bad.
that.
Everybody in their
I forgot
own
where
bubble.
we at.
No offense to the
Yeah,
nigga
yeah,
or whatever, but
No,
we don't know.
no. Yeah,
What'd he
yeah,
say,
yeah.
Brick?
Nah, he just got on there. Yeah, I don't know, but he got on there and talk about he talked to Big U 30 minutes before Nipsey died. Big U said Nipsey was dead. Then 30 minutes later he died. So he was trying to say it was a conspiracy theory that Big U got Nipsey killed. That shit was, he said he got the video of the FaceTime. He done photoshopped some shit, sent us a screenshot of a bullshit FaceTime, all type of shit, but put a whole murder conspiracy on somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. And it was a lie?
A for sure lie.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a for sure lie.
So damn.
It's a for
Why
sure.
you do that?
Man, these people. But
You did it on y'all podcast?
I had to take that one down because Big U hit me with the cease and desist. So shout out to Whack 100 for bringing Loose Cannon on and getting me wrapped up in some shit per usual. But I didn't really.
Whack be getting you in shit?
Whack definitely gets me in some shit.
Why? What he be doing?
Just being himself, just talking, saying whatever the fuck he feels like saying on the podcast.
Well, Whack and what's your name beefing, ain't it? You beefing?
Yeah.
Why they beefing?
Shit, that's a complicated question.
Why they beefing, Bricc?
Cause Whack be lying.
Whack be lying?
Nah, they was best friends at one point, bro.
I know.
So it's like at that point, you know, when motherfuckers be with a nigga every day, I can't even tell you why they really beefing.
Say less.
But it's all type of stories on the internet. What happened is one played into the internet and it trickled over to the other one, having to respond on the internet. Now you got these people that mean nothing, ain't never lived in LA, never lived in a society, controlling a beef, not letting it settle down or whatever the case is. And then, you know, when somebody wake up emotional, they might say something and give up a story about something that you know that you ain't supposed to be talking like that, no way, to where some words, you know, you can get over some words, but then there's certain situations that you get put in that just that's unforgivable. We could be cool and not want to shoot at each other, but it's just like we can't rekindle what was going on.
Who the biggest fraud from LA that we might not know? Like, if y'all know, like, man, if y'all only knew the stories about this dude that blew up.
That blew up? I mean, you've been around longer than me, shit.
The biggest fraud that blew up? Nah, y'all trying to get me into something. Man.
I don't know.
You ain't got, like you said, you can just always say, bro.
Right.
Nah.
LA will weed out the frauds pretty quick, don't you think? But then sometimes you get some good people behind the fraud and all of a sudden they start looking pretty good.
Yeah.
That definitely happens too.
Yeah, YG.
Nah.
What?
I fuck with YG.
I know.
I do too.
I know everybody do.
Why the hell you say that?
I'm just saying, you just asked me a question.
That's cold.
You asked the question. I would just go ahead and go past it.
I told you to skip it.
Yeah.
I told you to skip it.
What you mean? I'm just saying, you know, he done been through a couple different phases of his life. He a good person, genuine person, I guess. You get what I'm saying? With the fraudulent activity, shit.
See, Whack said basically this exact thing, but in way more words the other day, and I already was like, oh, God.
He said it on your podcast?
He's saying it too, shit.
Oh, he said it on the
Whack went on a little YG rant the other day, yeah.
And it ain't even nothing to take nothing from it, but if you just saying, like, you know, his music career is his music career. Ain't nobody saying nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? It might not be to every region's liking and all that shit, but his music career, he one of the biggest artists out the West Coast. But you know what I'm saying? His route there was kind of...
What do you know?
Crippin' in blood and shit.
Huh?
Doing both.
Go ahead, Scream.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? It must be two sides and shit like that.
Damn, bro.
But nah, like I said, his rap career, and he is a genuine person. He a businessman, and he did a lot for the West Coast. I could leave it there. You know?
Yeah.
Man, okay.
Okay, so look, before we end this or before we get this over or whatever, I have a 5-question rapid fire for Adam.
Ooh, okay.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Democrat or Republican?
Proud Democrat. We are voting Kamala into office.
Okay. SUV or sports car?
I'm a dad, so I'm going to go SUV and keep it practical.
Okay. White sand beach or mountain cabin?
Oh, definitely the beach. Yeah.
Okay, vegan or meat lover?
Meat lover. Pause.
He said that already, but you know. Bring on the beef.
Last one. Cream pie or painted face?
Cream pie or what?
Painted face.
Oh, well, you're doing porn. It's all about telling the story. So it's not much of a story if you're burrowing it away inside of her. You got to put it out there for the world to see.
Say less.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Picasso.
Is there what's some stuff that's coming up that might just be exclusive information or just something very entertaining, like some interview that might be coming or in the works or something like that?
Shit, that's a good question, man.
You just said you spent some time. Have y'all sat with Charleston?
Nah, he decided very early on. He said I was not his type of white boy.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit.
Charging too hard, man.
Didn't you say you were looking to cha-cha with him in the song?
That nigga hard, man.
Yeah. He called the police on me several times.
For what?
Man.
Okay, I remember that.
Remember, that's how when I
Y'all
came
got
on
into
my yeah, he was talking about Nipsey. I was in Houston. I put some money on my head. I said, man, tell him I got a dime on Charleston Whitehead. You know what I'm saying? He talk about, we got Bricc Baby, a Crip down here. He on the phone with the police a lot. I ain't never seen him in my life. But
I think Charles be trolling with that police
but
because that nigga be bucking. How he always be bucking when he see a nigga?
Name one nigga in the hood that play like that.
I ain't saying he playing. But when you see that nigga run up on that nigga, he be bucking.
No, I told everybody in every interview when we was beefing, I said I'm running from him when I said he too dangerous. He gonna call the police, shoot, and all.
He gonna do everything.
If I miss, it's over with. If I miss, he might shoot me. You know what I mean? If he don't got it, he calling the police. You can't beat that.
That nigga bucking.
Nigga invincible, man.
You gotta just let him have it, man. Yeah. That nigga crazy, bro.
But new stuff that we got going on, we just dropped the first ever No Jumper Cypher. Okay. With Bricc, Almighty Flacco, Lush One, Almighty Suspect. Did I say Almighty Flacco? Yeah. Poetic Flacco, and then me. That was my first time ever rapping. So at 40 years old, I dropped my first ever rap.
And you're a real rapper.
Did you write it yourself?
Pretty much. I got some help from Bricc and Lush, but I wrote most of it.
No, he got Chris on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm more of a studio rapper. I need to really take my time with my art. I'm like Lil Uzi turning down rapping on the radio in New York. Yeah, I'm just such a rock star. I gotta. Everything I put out into the universe has to be very calculated.
Who y'all think the biggest artist in the game is right now?
Oh god.
The biggest rapper?
Yeah.
Shit, probably Drake and the little guy who's beefing with Drake. And
hey, bro, watch out.
Who else? I don't know.
You ain't finna be shooting at Kendrick like that, man.
The little guy that's beefing
I'm
with
salty
Drake.
about this Super Bowl thing, man.
Wow.
Well, he obtained a picture of Drake's little missile first and fell in love with the size of Drake.
Oh man,
yeah, it's on some shit like that.
Oh, come on, man.
No, but
that's why he going for Drake.
Before Drake's dick pics really leaked, I was on set of Plug Talk. We were doing some orgy type thing or whatever.
Man, stop, man.
And there's a girl, and she goes to me. She's looking at her phone with my girl, and she goes, "Oh my!" And my girl goes, "Oh my God, don't show Adam. We're never gonna hear the end of it." I go, "What is it?" She goes, "I'm showing her Drake's dick pics." I'm like, "What?" I go over. She shows me. She goes all the way back to her Instagram. She opens up her DMs, clicks on his name, scrolls back through. She got hella Drake dick pics. I'm like, what the fuck? This dude is out of his damn mind sending this shit around to girls like you who are just gonna show me. And then the worst part about that, I seen her rooting for Kendrick.
They not like us.
That's when I really knew it was a cold game, man.
Drake ain't sent no Chanel bag in about a year.
So basically, she probably felt how you felt about that dick pic.
No,
probably.
Lord.
Yeah. It was impressive.
Oh man. Oh man.
I know talent when I see it.
Man, like, subscribe, comment to the Big
Salute
Network, man. Salute. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate y'all for real.
Nah, that screen do that. This nigga say it was impressive. You a master troll, bro.
Oh my God.
I'm not really trolling. I'm just kind of keeping it real. I'm in the porn business. I got to be able to tell greatness from mediocrity.
You let Drake hit your wife?
Nah. Trained professionals only.
No, I mean, so that's the difference?
Yeah, he's been doing this for fun all these years. I need a real swordsman.
Oh, man.
So y'all be having cockfights.
Nah. We don't tap them together.
Sword.
I never tapped them. I don't
y'all
know.
doing swords.
Yeah.
Sword fight.
You think it's like airdrop when they hit together?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
Does that weird like
He talk about y'all that did so nigga y'all ain't did nothing. You talk about the porn community.
Yeah, don't talk about the porn community. Him in the porn community. If you porno, y'all probably like that shit ain't awkward being in there with another dude and your girl.
Nah,
Have
really?
you ever DP'd anybody?
Nah, I'm shook.
What's that?
That's some expert level shit right there.
Because I'm saying,
It's
if
called-
that's the case, you know, like,
I know dudes who
It's
do that
double
every day.
penetration, Black.
Monday through Friday, they in there.
Double penetration.
I will never do double vaginal. One in the butt,
I mean,
one in the
asshole
vagina.
vaginal, it's a thin line of tissue.
one in the
like,
butt,
that's
one
the
in
same
the-
thing.
It's pretty close. But I'm just saying that, like,
Oh my
when you
God.
see the two dicks in the vagina at the same time, that shit is too. I would never, ever,
That's
ever.
gay. That's for
That's
sure.
crazy.
That's the freakiest shit I could think of.
But that means if you do, that means nuts rub, bro.
Thank
So
you. That's
both
what I'm
is the
saying.
same.
And your
It's-
thighs on this nigga thighs and shit.
But that's why they get the brothers with the 10-inch dicks to do it, because they can kind of like they're like further away from the end of their penis, so they're not like rubbing their bodies together, you know.
So she in the middle. So y'all looking at each other.
Well, I never actually did this.
I'm
but,
saying if the nigga doing that, if somebody doing that, he on the bottom and you on the top, or vice versa, y'all looking in each other's eyes.
I'm not looking at that weirdo. Hell no.
What you do? Look straight ahead.
I'm looking at my baby.
My baby.
Big brr.
You ain't never gave nobody a high five before?
I hit Eiffel Tower. Ow, a couple times, yeah.
It'll get a high five a couple times.
Just to say you did it, you know.
Big facts.
my
Has meant no
God.
jumper. We appreciate you pulling up.
These
You
are
know
the
what
real
I'm
big
saying?
facts.
Big facts. No jumper.
You already know.
Adam22.
Don't be
Bricc
late,
Baby.
man.
Salute.
Yeah,
Check us
yeah,
out
yeah,
at www.bigfactspod.com. Salute.